The number of people killed by flash floods in the US state of Tennessee has now risen to more than 20. Dozens are still missing. Roads and bridges were washed away. Power cuts have affected thousands of people. Well, the east coast of the United States has also been hit by strong winds and heavy rain as tropical storm Henri made landfall on Sunday. Tanya Dendrinos has this.
Debris and devastation. This is Tennessee after flash flooding wreaked havoc.
So I'm like trying to get them out the door, but the water is so high and it's pushing against the door that I'm having a hard time pushing to open the door to get them out. I'm holding two babies.
As locals assess the unimaginable damage following the record rainfall, search and rescue teams were looking for survivors.
Tremendous loss of life, a number of missing people on the ground, homes washed off their foundations, cars strewn around the community. It is a devastating picture of loss and heartache.
The loss front of mind.
Good afternoon.
In Sunday's presidential address.
I want to begin by expressing my deepest condolences for the sudden and tragic loss of life due to this flash flood. I know we've reached out to the community and we stand ready to offer them support. I've asked the administrator to speak to Governor Lee of Tennessee right away, and we'll offer any assistance they need for this terrible moment.
Meanwhile, more than 120,000 homes were left without power after Tropical Storm Henri made landfall on Rhode Island. Downgraded from a Category 1 hurricane, many residents along the northeast coast of the United States were breathing a sigh of relief.
We've seen a lot of wind damage, trees down, stuff like that, and a couple inches of water on the road, and that's about it.
Like I said, we would have just thought it was a regular storm, not anything more than that.
And loss of power. You don't have power.
Henri is weakening, but heavy rainfall is expected to continue, with potential for more flooding. Disaster relief has already been approved for a number of states, with the president pledging the government will do everything it can to help them respond and recover. Tanya Dendrinos, BBC News.
Well, CBS correspondent Bradley Blackburn is in Long Island in the state of New York, where there has been some flooding, although Tropical Storm Henri's last-minute shift saved the area from more extensive damage.
This area was largely spared damage. They were really concerned about a repeat of Superstorm Sandy here. There were a lot of fears about storm surge in areas like this marina. That did not happen. Henri really spared the worst, but it is a rain event in large areas of the Northeast right now, just dumping rain across much of New York State and Connecticut. Forecasts call for up to 3 to 6 inches of rain today, potentially up to a foot in places, and that's on top of what they already saw yesterday that was flooding neighborhoods in many places. Central Park in New York City saw an all-time record for rainfall in 1 hour, Tim. So many parts of this area are just dealing with a lot of water.
Yeah, I mean, there hasn't been a hurricane, I don't think, in New England for some 30 years. How worried are people about these recent extreme weather events?
Well, it's really a question about extreme weather events and the connection to climate change, right, Tim? And we do see more politicians across the country that are drawing connections. Certainly the president and, we've covered the wildfires out in California as well. Governor Newsom out there would draw that connection. And more Americans are also drawing connections between extreme weather events and a warming climate. A solid majority of the country now says that they're concerned about climate change and global warming. And polls show that more Americans believe that it is human-induced. So, Tim, we are seeing public opinion evolve on that. Of course, having covered weather stories from Alaska down to Miami, we know that even climate scientists have a hard time connecting any one extreme weather event to a changing climate. But in the aggregate, opinion is changing.
Bradley Blackburn speaking to me from Long Island.